Hey, everybody. Jesse from PokerNews podcast here. We're having an emergency podcast, and we got lucky enough to get Robbi Jade Lew on the call. It's a crazy day, Robbi. It's a crazy day. I'm holding in my hands something I never expected, never heard anything about beforehand. You didn't, whatever you've done, but I'm holding a copy of If I Did It.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got one too. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So, Robbi, in your own words, what is this?
Well, this is actually in my own words, quite literally. So what this actually is, I received so much, obviously, scrutinization, a lot of opinions, a lot of people, not as many as from the beginning, but a lot of confused individuals who still think that I did it. And so I want to make it very clear that I did not cheat whatsoever. The investigation was absolutely thorough. It was completely correct, I guess you could say. And I just want to reiterate the fact that this isn't a confession book, but if I did it, this is exactly how I would have done it.
Okay, but I did it is in bright red.
Yeah, it's a little play off of OJ's book, except I think he might have done it, but I didn't do it. So this is heavy emphasis once again, because my lawyers are going to hate me if I do not reiterate over and over again and annoy the crap out of me by saying this, but I did not do it. But if I did it, this is exactly how I would have done it. So I go through everything. I go through all of the different scenarios and the theories, and really just walk through what I would have done had I done it and gotten away with it.
Okay, well, I appreciate your time today. I haven't read it yet. I just got it, but I'm going to ask you a few questions based on what I already know. So we're going to go ahead. First of all, forward by Doyle Brunson.
Yeah, he was one of my big supporters. And he always, everyone knows like the joke that he cracked a little bit about what he would have done had he handled the situation. And yeah, so I don't want to give too much away. So definitely just want everyone to grab a copy. It's going to be readily available. And to be really perfectly honest, I wasn't going to release it, definitely not today. But I really thought about it. My publisher did have it ready to go, and I was going to release it closer to WSOP, but it's been an interesting week, and I haven't spoken out since Garrett spoke on Monday. I've remained relatively quiet and silent, just letting everything play out for himself, because I think that he displayed himself in a certain way where I really don't have much to say. He kind of laid out his character with everything that he said on Monday, but I thought, why not respond in this way? It's a little more positive and not a direct response, but here I am, and I'm finally speaking out for the first time since he spoke on Monday.
Okay, well, thank you again. Chad Holloway also received a copy, I'll tell you, and he's reading it right now. He told me he's going to release a book review today, really getting into details about it. So we're going to let that come out later on today. But let's talk about the hand. You start this, Robbi, by saying, I didn't do it. Let's talk about what it is. It was September 29th, I think. Have you relived this day a lot? Yeah.
I've been terrorized by this day. I have PTSD from that day. I have a hard time walking into that casino because of it. It's been a really taxing, confusing, tornado of a situation. And I think I've come out stronger in the end. I think ultimately when you go through something that traumatic in life, you want to somehow at least learn from it. And unfortunately, I do have to relive the horrors of it. And I did have to relive them when I wrote this book. But I've been trying to look at the positive side really for everything in this particular incident. And I've been constantly asked if I would go back and change anything. And I have to say now I would not, because I do think that my strength in terms of facing any type of obstacle or any type of, I guess, resistance in my life outshines my character more than I used to be able to kind of stand up to the bully, so to speak. So for me, I feel like I've evolved as a person. I've definitely I feel like a stronger woman. I feel more resilient and more able to go back out into the world and not hang my head and worry about any of the criticism and the scrutinization that I had received from the very onset of the incident.
Happy to hear it, Robbi. And very interesting to hear you say that you wouldn't do anything differently, especially with this book coming out. But again, I'm not here to put my thoughts on this. I just want to hear your voice. So appreciate all this. Now, Robbi, I do want to discuss some theories that are out there since the event. Just let me know. I guess you can, whatever feels comfortable with you regarding some of these theories. Did your chair vibrate?
So if I did do it, I think that my chair would likely vibrate, but I'm not going to give away too much. I would think that the scenario that I have written in this book would justify my chair vibrating.
Okay, how about, was there an RFID signal conveyor or something or other in the water bottle?
Yeah, I haven't spoken to Hustler Casino yet, so I don't want to give away too much because I think that they might, I don't know if they're going to have a little bit of concern about what I do release in the book. But again, it's a fictional interpretation of real life events that happened. So I want to reiterate over and over again that this isn't a confession book, and I am not throwing anyone under the bus or confessing for anybody else, because it's not a book. It's not my confession regardless. It's just a fictional take on what I would have done had I done it and gotten away with it.
Okay. Just from the, I mean, I really just was barely able to open it. I did see that you have a chapter. I think it's chapter 3, titled, one second. What if B.S was my inside man? I'm going to guess that B.S is Brian Sagbixall.
Yes. And, there was very coincidental events that occurred since the hand happened that pushed a number of, I guess, supporters to go the other way, because it just seemed too coincidental. And one of them was Mr. BS. And he is in that chapter. And there will be some interesting information in there, because I think if I did it, I might have to have included somebody that worked for Hustler Casino.
Okay. If okay, yeah, if, of course. Chapter 9, I only had to look back at it. Chapter 9 is titled Getting Away with It.
Yeah.
Robbi, this seems very guilty. It's like this. I mean, I don't think, I mean, okay, it's if I did it, and chapter 9 is getting away with it.
Again, I just want to reiterate over and over again, like writing a book is like showbiz. So I had to lure the audience in, and that chapter is, again, a fictional take on how I would get away with it if I got away with it. So if I did do it and then I got away with it, this is sort of how that chapter would play out and how my life would look currently. If I got away with something that I did do, but I didn't do it. So I want to say it over and over again. I absolutely did not cheat. So again, this is a very fictional rendition of what might have occurred had I gotten away with cheating at Hustler Casino on September 29th.
Okay. Twin sister lie detector test. What did you send? Do you have a twin sister?
I do. I have.
Okay, so that's real. Okay. I mean, I don't know. Like I have other things to do too. I can't always. Okay, so that's real. You have a twin sister. Did you send her to Vegas to a lie detector test?
Well, if I think that if anybody has a twin sister, you share the exact same DNA. We have the exact same voice, and nobody can tell us apart. And well, I'm not going to say much. It's in the book, but if anyone has an identical twin, I don't know why you wouldn't utilize the benefit of having an identical twin. Yeah, I would hope that my identical twin sister, who I've shared every single minute of my life with, would help me out in a really rough spot. So yeah, if I did it, I'd probably use her.
So you did?
I would if I did it, but I didn't. So, but if I did it, I would.
If you did, that's what you have done.
I've done that. I don't know. I mean, is it a coincidence that I'm an identical twin and I wouldn't utilize her services? I would think that if I absolutely wanted to cheat in any scenario, it would be a huge oversight not to utilize one of the best resources to me, which is an identical twin.
Okay. Can you just come a little bit closer to the camera? Get as close as you can. I just want to see closer, a little bit closer. I just want to see your eyes. Okay. I want to see your eyes. Okay. I'm going to ask you a very direct question. Okay. We've had interviews before where our people weren't very direct. Did you do it? Did you cheat?
I did not cheat, but if I did, this is how I would do it.
Okay. Okay.
So get the book, and then tell me if your perception of what happened during that day has changed.
I mean, I can read the back of the book. I can tell you right here. It says, Alan Kessler says, wow, a confession? Judge for yourself. My feeling, you bet it is. The case is now officially closed. This appalling but mesmerizing book does it. I will tell you, I don't usually trust Alan Kessler. His food takes are horrible. The worst food takes I've ever seen.
He knows how to get a good discount. He knows how to get a good discount. But I've always been listening to his his stance on the whole situation, and I don't think that gives away too much. I think you'd have to read the book to find out which way he really swings.
Okay. There was also a quote from Phil Hellmuth on here. I love this. It says in Robbi's own words, it's as if Lew is sitting across from the reader, laying out her side of the story one-on-one. No reporters or gossip columnists or poker Twitter vultures sticking in their beaks. He doesn't really even give his take. It's just, what a Phil Hellmuth move. Like, just what a safe thing to.
I've always actually appreciated his objective stance on the whole matter as well. So I really wanted to kind of support his perspective by allowing him to have some visibility in the quote that he did share regarding his review of the book.
Okay. So If I Did It, out now, wherever poker books are sold, Amazon, I'm sure as well. I guess that's it. In closing, Robbi, thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
It's If I Did It, Robbi. Should I just cover up the if?
No, my lawyers would absolutely hate that. So I highly suggest that you absolutely do not cover it, because again, not a confession book. But if I did it, I think this is exactly how I would have done it.
All right, that's going to end our podcast. It's going to end our interview. Robbi, thank you, and good luck with your book.
I'm excited. Go get it. Go read it. It's what I've been working on for a long time, and I think it's the right timing to release it today. So I appreciate you guys for getting up for the weekend and making it happen.